And like Joe said, this week's below freezing temperatures are something to be aware of, mostly because your health could be in danger. WENY's Leanne DeRosa is live outside our studios in Horseheads and has more on what you need to know before you leave the house. Leanne, how's it feeling out there?
Aisha, it is so cold out here. I'd be surprised if you can't see me physically shivering. I have a ton of layers on and I'm still cold and shaking. But what's important to realize is that when temperatures do drop this low, the possibility of getting frostbite it's possible in just minutes. So if you are heading out into the bitter cold, please be prepared. When you head outside in below freezing temperatures, your body needs to work extra hard to keep its core warm. That means pulling body heat towards your core organs, leaving your extremities and exposed areas open to the possibility of frostbite.
What happens is that the water that's in your cells freezes and you develop crystals, and these crystals actually are what cause tissue damage.
Dr. Dollinger from Arnott Health says the longer you're exposed, the worse the problem could be. Frostbite has 4 levels. The first is just frostnip, which is pretty common. With 2nd degree frostbite, you may notice some blistering. And 3rd and 4th degree sometimes send patients to the hospital and could even cause amputation. But the good news is frostbite's easier to prevent than to treat. So if you're heading out to play or just quickly running to the food store, you're going to need more than just a sweater.
When you go outside and you want to protect yourself, warm multi-layered clothing. And the layer that's on top should be waterproof, or at least water resistant. Because if the tissue gets wet, if your skin gets wet, you're going to freeze an awful lot faster.
But if you start seeing symptoms, quickly get inside. But make sure to warm yourself up the right way.
Not with dry heat, not next to a stove, not next to a radiator, not next to a fireplace. In warm water, a little bit warmer than body temperature, and warm them up slowly. Don't use a hair dryer on them. Dry heat is going to make the problem a whole lot worse. It'll desiccate, it'll dry out the tissues.
Dollinger also says to always wear a hat. And what I found interesting was that she said mittens are a better choice than gloves. That's because with mittens, your fingers are grouped together and that helps them stay warm. Now I have gloves on and my fingers are starting to get cold, so I'm going to have to go out and try that out and buy a pair of mittens. Aisha, I'll pick a pair up for you too. Live outside the studio, Leanne DeRosa, WENY News. Back to you, Aisha, in the studio, who's probably super warm right now.
Hurry inside so you can be warm as well, Leanne.